wait a minute, that's not it. There's more. Oh yes, there's more. And then when you reach the next level, then you hear whispers again of what's next. And you're like, but how can we, how can it be more than what we already have? Like, this is crazy. And then there's more.
Welcome to the Energy Upgrade Podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Grutman. And if you are a high achieving woman, a successful entrepreneur, an inspiring entrepreneur, or just a woman with kick-ass big dreams, you're in the right place. If you value your energy, your health, if you want to be a biohacker, tap into longevity, if you want to raise the impact you have in this lifetime, you're going to have a lot of fun around here. As a second-time seven-figure business creator, certified health practitioner, and soul biohacker, I'm here to reconnect you to your energy, to the soul of your business, and to your superpowers. Let's go. Welcome home.
Today I'm recording this episode live from my room at the Four Seasons, the morning of the Lionsgate portal, which coincides also with me turning 40. So yes, last night, I checked myself in at the Four Seasons with full intention of waking up like a queen in my first day of my 40th. Also, selfishly, I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be doing lunches this morning, if we're going to be honest here. So this is my treat from me to me. But also, here's the reason why I did this. I wanted to set the tone and connect with this higher version of me, this next version of me. And here are some thoughts that have been coming through. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can literally see I'm in my room, in my robe. It's still very early this morning, and I just had all these thoughts pouring through. And I thought, you know what? Let's just start recording. And I want to talk about fears today. I want to talk about fears because I know you have them. I have them. And I'm constantly blown away at how fears actually evolve. So let me just give you a little bit more context. In my work every single day, I have the pleasure to work with fantastic, high-achieving women of all walks of life that are here ultimately to become the leader of their life, to become the leader, whether it is in their relationship, in their career, in their business. Wherever they are, they're here ready to remember and reconnect to their self-worth. And what I'm noticing as a common thread is that first, when we start doing this work, when we start walking on this healing journey, let's call it, a lot of fears are going to come up, and those fears are actually going to be related to what others will think. So a lot of people-pleasing patterns. If I start doing this way, if I change how I say this, if I suddenly change my identity or level up, what will others say? Am I still going to be loved? Am I still going to be included? Am I going to be canceled? Those are often the fears that come up. And often they will say to me, once I reach this, once I earn this much money, once I'm able to talk in front of this many people, once I'm able to, share my truth with my partner, once I'm, whatever it is, there's always this thought, this illusion that once we reach a certain point, the fears are going to go away. They're going to dissipate. And well, I'm here to tell you that they don't. Sadly, but they evolve. And here's why I've learned to actually appreciate fear for what it is. Fears, and of course, there's, fear of being seen, fear of showing our truth, fear of, being vulnerable and authentic and not being understood and not being appreciated. Not like there's just, these fears are all related to, when we think about it, to feelings of being loved, feelings of being worthy, feelings of belonging, which are very, very important feelings for human beings. As human beings, we need to feel like we belong. This is so important, which is, by the way, one of the reasons why I always say, if you haven't found your tribe, your true tribe that actually will stand up for you, will cheer for you, will celebrate your successes as much as your challenges, and will be there with you every step of the way. Once you found these people, you're going to have this sense of belonging. So, of course, that's going to help to diffuse that very fear. But what I've come to realize is that when fears start to show up, what most women will do, and I'm including myself here, this is what I used to do. I used to be like, nope, I don't like the feeling. I don't like the sound of that. So I'm going to revert back to how I was doing things because it worked. It worked. And, I was able to push through and hustle through, and it worked. But here's the thing, I did that for, more almost 15 years. And at one point, in my entrepreneurship journey, and at one point I realized I I couldn't escape anymore. The fears just wouldn't go away because there's something called my soul that was inside of me, literally like dying of its slow death, being like, you know what? I'm sending you all these signals so that you can actually awaken. So let me explain further. I do believe that our fears are here almost as a gauge to see how close are we getting to walking this path of our soul mission. If we are not feeling any fears, and if we are walking a life that just feels very, I'm going to call it easy, comfortable, chances are we have picked the easy route. And chances are we're probably, if we're really honest with ourselves, and if we're walking that path right now, there's probably parts of ourselves that feel disaligned, that feel not good. There's probably parts of ourselves, perhaps in our physical body, where we have actual symptoms, whether in our digestive system, our nervous system, anxiety, whatever it is, where we feel like there's a lack of flow. And often we'll try to find the quick pill, the quick fix to make that lack of flow go away. But the truth is, it won't. So your fears are sort of these red flags that I've learned to actually embrace, because every time I'm about to do something where I'm stretching myself out of my comfort zone, meaning I'm going to get closer to figuring out if this is my soul mission or if this is aligned with my soul or not. So I'm really walking a path of courage and authenticity, and it would be so easy for me to revert back. It would be every time I'm at this pivotal moment, and you'll see where I'm going with this. I feel like I'm in this right now. But every time I'm at this pivotal moment, I really check in with myself and my fears, and I look at them and I see them for what they are. And I actually, this might sound crazy, but I actually thank them for showing up, because it's a confirmation that this is where I need to go. And you might be thinking like, what is this? Like, do you like to just take the self-excruciating path of life? Like, why are you doing this to yourself? Well, here's what I've discovered. Every time I say yes to a fear, I look at it in the eye, the jaguar energy, and I'm like, let's go together. I see you, but I also see that you're trying to protect me and keep me small. So thank you for showing me that this is actually something I need to try. Now, does that mean that when I overcome my fears, it's always going to be successful? Absolutely not. It might be a mistake. It might. But how would I know? And I believe that whether it's a mistake or a success, all of these are milestones that bring us closer and closer to our truth, closer and closer to our remembrance of why we came here. I do believe that we all came here with a mission. We all came here with a mission, but this human experience has us forget, right? We get in our own way. And so I do believe that as we start collecting the breadcrumbs, looking at them and actually following the breadcrumbs, we get to expand. We get to discover new things about ourselves. So that is why I've learned to embrace fear. Now, I want to share this with you because this is the other thing. This is a moving post, meaning the fear will never go away once I've reached this. So let's say so right now I have this big calling there. It's just like it's itching at every cell of my body that I need to open wider. I need to create opportunities for more people to come in and hear this message that I have to share about, realigning your energy, your leadership, your health, your business, your soul, all of it. And so, this sort of like biohacking, um, yeah, this message is important. But of course, that is not the easy way, because opening wider means I need to have the infrastructure. I need to have, a very innovative approach, a very innovative content, a very creative way to communicate this information that is not going to sound like everything else that's already out there. I need to have, my team ready to accommodate, an influx of more people. I need to be supported and coached along the way, which is also comes at a price. I need to invest, drastically, like large sums of money in order for this to happen. The more you invest, the higher you get to play. This is like, I'm not referring entrepreneurship or business by any means to, playing at a casino, but you kind of see the point. The more you invest, and when I say invest, it could be money, but it could also be just your energy, yourself, your soul into this. The more you, at a higher level, you're going to be playing. So here I am, at this sort of crossroad, and it, like, every parts of me is saying hell yes, but also every parts of me is also at the same time saying, like, danger, danger, do not go there, danger. And it could be really easy for me to keep doing what I'm doing. But here's a thought I had last night when I checked in here at the Four Season, and I've stayed at Four Seasons before once. And it's just always spectacular. So for me, coming here was just the ultimate treat. It is the best hotel, hands down, in Montreal. And so I just wanted to come and immerse myself in these luxury and beauty codes. I just felt like for this next step, this pivotal moment I'm in, I need to surround myself with these this higher level. I need to play at a higher level. I need to raise my standards. So here I am checking myself in at this fantastic hotel. The customer service is like nothing you've ever seen or experienced before. I am just like drooling. I'm such a big fan of branding and customer service and details, and of course, that part of me was like, hell yes, like dancing. And so I'm looking around at the people. I'm looking around at all the details. I'm looking around and I'm listening to the conversations, to the levels. And for a moment it hits me. I'm like, so I've just opened a brand new level, almost like a video game, Like, I'm playing at a brand new level. I'm probably one of the most beginner in the room, but the mere fact of knowing that these type of details, these type of conversations, these type of attention, this exists, I'm like, okay, this is so. Basically, I'm wanting to make a parallel here with coaching, because I saw my whole being expand, the minute, within literally half an hour of being in this environment. I could feel it. I could feel the shift inside. And when I woke up this morning, it really felt like it was like locked in, anchored in. It's like, okay, this is the level we're playing at right now. So now, when I look at my fears and I'm locked in at this new level, does it feel like it feels really selfish not to open bigger? It feels really selfish not to invest in higher level coaching and put myself in rooms where I'm the smallest, where I can learn. It feels really selfish not to start sharing my message. So, do you see how every time you unlock a new level, and you might think, thank God I'm going to get to rest for a little bit here, and my fears are going to, go away, and I'm going to be at peace and happy and joyful. Every time you unlock a new level, bing, there's a new opportunity. There's new possibilities that reveal themselves, which come with a whole new set of fears. And so this is the game of life. And I wanted to bring this to your attention because I don't think we discuss this enough. I don't think we talk about fears enough, especially for women out there. Like, I just feel like we take the status quo for, like, it's okay. It's like the norm. when in fact, there is just a world of abundance and possibilities at your fingertip. But what that means is you're going to have to take this step. Like, I didn't have to actually leave my family last night and come and check myself into the most expensive hotel in Montreal. I didn't have to do that. Absolutely not. But somehow there was something in me that was like, this is the kind of environment you need to be in to make these decisions. And today is my birthday, and the only thing I have planned is actually a meeting with myself. I've already started journaling last night. This morning I stepped into this, like, okay, I gotta really start embodying this next version of me, and I have to play at a higher level. So, I woke up really early. I had all my morning ritual, my meditation, my dry brush. I went to the gym. I pushed really hard into the sauna. Like, I just did all the things that I know my highest self needs to do in order to break through these fears and get to the next level. So essentially, what you need to take out of this conversation is, first of all, if you're having fears right now, don't let them block you. Welcome them, appreciate them, smile at them, wink at them, and say, hey, I see you. That means this is something probably I should explore. And I always say, if your goals are not so big that they make you nauseous, they're not big enough. I'm sorry. We have to, we cannot expect to have access and unlock the level of abundance, of freedom, of sovereignty, of joy, of pure, deliciousness of this life by just staying comfortable. That's not how it works. Now, here, I'm not saying you got to burn yourself out. That's not at all what I'm saying, because I've done that, been there, done that. I'm saying you got to take aligned actions. And that starts by listening to your fears. Because when you listen to your fears and you decide to do it anyway and take an action, usually the universe is like, oh, I see what you're doing here. Okay, I'm getting the memo. I'm getting the next things lined up here. I can see you're into play. Okay, let's do this. Literally, that's how it works. And I'm not even kidding. This morning, I woke up and one of my absolute favorite mentor had left me a voice memo inviting me to the highest level mastermind I know that is available on the market. And she only picks 8 people. And she called me and said, you're one of them. I want to help you scale. Let's go. And I'm like, how does this stuff happen? Now, of course, a lot of fears creeped up because it comes at a hefty price. But I'm like, I know I have to do this. I know I'm not going to be able to get where I want to get alone. There's no way, because we're our own worst enemy. So I'm going to get in my own way. So I'm just saying, when you start making these moves and you start to see the fears for what they are and you decide to go anyway with it, it's really neat what happens. I swear it's really neat. Now, does it all come overnight? No. It takes patience, it takes conviction, it takes trust. But gosh, when it comes, it's like so yummy, so good. So here I am celebrating my 40th birthday, surrounded, immersed in beauty and luxury codes, spending the day in my robe, having my coffee. I'm treating myself, and really all I wanted was to be in this higher level video game, if we will. And here's the thing. Every time you achieve a new video game, then you hear the whispers of the next video game. And every time you're like, wait a minute, that's not it. There's more. Oh yes, there's more. And then when you reach the next level, then you hear whispers again of what's next. And you're like, but how can it be more than what we already have? Like, this is crazy. And then there's more. And this is so cool. And as a line 6 in human design, I know that one of my roles is actually to take you in with me and whisper these things into your ear. Like, that is my role as a role model, as a line 6, to actually share these very important realizations, because otherwise, how do we know? How do we know that there is even a next level? How do we know? We have to have some people that are willing to open up and share and invite. So this is what I'm doing. I'm letting you know that there's a next level available, and I'm kind of reaching out, holding my hand, helping you join me, basically. And so anyway, I just had this like super amazing, thought confirmation about fears. They're not going anywhere. They just keep getting bigger and bigger. You just get to invest more and more. And, but it also gets to be like magical. And the more you connect to this soul mission, the more you connect to what you're here to do, the more it feels, I'm going to say it feels effortless. Now, it's not effortless. Let's be clear. Like, I am not the kind of person who only works 1 hour a day, although I would love, but I do work really hard. But I also have really high standards, really strong boundaries, and I prioritize my creativity, my me time every day. I always say I have at least a 2 hour morning ritual, and that is in order for me to be able to play at this level. And now I have a feeling, guess what? I have a feeling I'm gonna have to step that up even more as I'm about to embark this new phase. So listen, if you are here listening to this, I would love for you to contemplate and take a moment, maybe pick your journal and think about, where do you feel blocked right now? And really look at yourself in the mirror. I don't want you to be pointing a finger at anybody, your boss, your mom, your uncle, your sister, your employee, your upline, your downline. I don't want you to point finger at anybody but you. I want you to be really honest with yourself and think, what is stopping me? What is the fear? And you'll notice that the fear is often related to the feeling of belonging, the feeling of being loved, the feeling of that we matter, that we are worthy. And remember that this feeling, you are the only person that can give it to you. And so I invite you to do this reflection, to really journal on it and decide to look at this fear for what it is. Look at it in the eye. Just like a toddler doing a tantrum, needing that TLC, just look at it and say, I see you. I know it's scary, but we're going to do this, because the fear of not knowing what would happen if I was to do this thing, have the hard conversation, do the move, take the leap, whatever it is, like the weight of regretting, of not knowing, of wondering what if, is excruciating. It's not worth it. It's actually at the root cause of dis-ease. It is what creates dis-ease in the long term. We know that actually these emotions are what creates cancer 8 to 10 years in the making. It's wild. So if you can avoid resentment, regret, the wondering, like, what would my life would have looked like? It's never too late. You might feel overwhelmed hearing this, but it's never too late. And I guarantee you there is one step, one thing you can do. And perhaps it starts by, just like me, putting yourself in a room where you're the smallest and listening and being a fly on the wall and being, okay, this is the level some people play at. Oh my gosh. Okay. I want to play at this level too. So what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And then you get to take actions from that place. So from this beautiful room, hotel room, the Lionsgate portal has officially opened. I can feel this energy of more of leadership, of fire, of this like rare Leo energy is like invading me. It's so powerful. I have no idea where it's taking me, but hey, I'm in for the ride. I'm taking you with me, and I'm telling you, it is never worth it to let fears win. We have to look at them and do the move anyway. So my friends, you got this. Now, today's my birthday, but of course, when this is going to air, it's going to be behind us. But if there's one way, if you want to celebrate me in one way, this is my special request. If you could gift me with a review for this podcast. If you enjoy this content, if it makes you contemplate, if it makes you reflect, if it gives you motivation, I would appreciate so much if you could leave me a review on Apple Podcast. That would mean the world to me. And plus, it's going to help me on my mission to try to find more people and make this message accessible to more women that are just like you, wanting to step into their leadership in a bigger way. So thank you in advance for considering leaving a review as a gift. That would mean so much to me. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here every week. And I also want to remind you, now we're going to be putting a little bit more attention and TLC to our YouTube. So if you feel like watching these podcast episodes on YouTube, they're always going to be there as well. So if you want to look at me while I do all the things or look at my guest, this is where it's going to be. So thank you again for being here. I love you, and I will see you very soon.
The information shared on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't provide any medical advice. Vanessa Grutman does not cure, diagnose, or treat disease. Please consult your physician before trying any new protocol or product.